Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from Deltia'sGaming.com, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Omega Templar to solo Veteran City of Ash 1, no death, by myself. So if you're looking at doing some crazy stuff because you can't get anyone in a group, let's show you how to play this solo in a dungeon application. Alright, let's do this Omega style. And a couple things you need to know offensively. We got a really easy rotation. Really, we're just going to maintain blockade, reflective light as best as possible. And then for survival, it just comes down to using puncturing sweeps constantly and harness magic to give us some reaction time, give us some time to think. And that's kind of the bread and butter of this build. And when you are in trouble, what do? You click harness, then you do sweeps, especially if someone's around there. If there's no one around there, you just click harness again. It's really not that hard. So we're going to sacrifice, obviously, some damage for this setup, but the gear is easy to obtain, the rotation's very easy, and it's very forgiving for newer players. So let's get started. Clear the first couple of trash packs, and I like this dungeon because it has some of the best gear in it, and you can solo it. And it's really, really easy to kind of go through. So if you're trying to get the gear, I recommend just doing normal. If you're trying to get the jewelry pieces, then you're going to want to do vet. So a lot of Undead and Daedroth makes it really easy to generate ultimate, so you can be a little more liberal using them just whenever, because every kill is going to give you back a lot of ultimate, especially playing solo. Well, you're getting every kill, so there's that. This build is going to excel in AoE situations, so the more mobs around, the easier it's going to be for you. Partly due to our 5-piece Withered Hand, and partly due just because sweeps heals us for so much. So, very, very good. So to kind of illustrate this point, let's go ahead and just pull a bunch of crap up here. I'm going to use a Destro ulti. I'm going to use Harness Magic because some of those ads are hitting me in the back. And then just doing this. Another thing as a Templar, your goal is not just to do sweeps mindlessly. It's just sweeps and then do a light/heavy attack in between. So you see that? See how my little fire staff made 2 little fireballs after I did sweeps? That's your goal, to get that to be almost instinctively. I think the most damage possible is to do a little light, so 1 little fireball, but it's basically light, fireball, light attack, sweeps, light attack, sweeps, light attack, sweeps. See that? Just rewire your brain to do light attack, ability, light attack, ability. It will add up to a lot of damage in the end. It will proc your poisons or your weapon enchants, get your ultimate rolling, and it's basically almost like free damage. So that's what's going to really spike your damage learning this build. Enough of that. We got basically the first boss, and this guy is somewhat challenging. He just has a lot of HP, so it's going to take a while. So what I do is just pull everything here first. I'm going to line the sight right around the corner here. And I'm going to drop a Destro ult, just because it has that huge, massive radius. That's going to nuke pretty much half the mobs for me right away. And also, it's going to generate a lot of ultimate, because Destro ulti just will nuke down these Undead and Daedra, give you that Fighter's Guild passive back. Also, that Destruction Staff passive, while we have a Destruction Staff equipped, those kills going to give us some juice as well. Withered Hand, and you can see we're doing pretty good on our magic. So I'm going to nuke that guy down. Okay, now it's the boss time, and just focus on single target and what we have to do to survive. Basic 2 things: Channel Focus, Ritual of Ret. It's going to give you good resistance. It's going to give you good healing. I'm going to use Meteor since this is completely single target, and we're not really worried about time. We're just matter of fact taking our time. So you can see when I go back to recast Ritual Ret or something else, I'm going to throw a spear down. Remember, that spear can do a lot of damage single target. So don't forget throwing that out every time. You don't want to go back to your back bar just to do it on this particular build, just because it requires a lot of bar swaps. But you want to maintain that once you do your Ritual of Ret. So if you don't have all these fancy buff timers like this on PC, you're looking at the animation of the boss. If he's on fire, is the ground on fire, and are my little circle, my runes down? So with unstable, it's really easy to recognize when your unstable's down, because that ground will kind of blow up 3 times. So another tip here is, you can see I'm basically running out of juice because there's no ads to proc my Withered Hand. So sometimes when this happens, I actually switch foods. So you can see I actually use my Witch Mother's Brew there, and then I use a potion. So it's going to lower my health down. It's going to be a little bit more vulnerable. But you can see Harness Magic. He just did his big, huge cleave to me, and it didn't even kill me. It didn't even lower my health, because Harness Magic carries me that much. Once we got him to 40%, we're going to maintain our discipline, put 2 dots down. So blockade, reflective light, and then beam. That's going to give us a lot of healing as long as we don't get stunned like that. So maintain your discipline. This should be easy. Remember to keep Ritual of Ret down too, because the major mending and the healing is useful. Also, you see I did an attack here with dual wield. Why did I do that? It's to proc my weapon enchants. So that's important. Don't just not do that and just mindlessly beam. So let's skip ahead to the next trash bowl. Alright, a bunch of trash here, so usually I just kind of go grab all of it and then Destro Ulti in a huge radius just to kind of clear it out. If you're looking just to farm gear, you can really just basically run to the bosses if you want and do it that way. I used a meteor here since there is 6 mobs around, so I can get my ultimate back really fast. As you can see, look, those Daedra kills using meteor on 6 target give me a lot back instantly, and meteor's back pretty much already. So it's almost like a free ultimate when you're doing AoE situations, though it's not as powerful purely as Destro Ult. But there's some options and flexibility in terms of what ults we use. So got that trash pulled down, on to the next one here, and I'm looking for chests. So sometimes these chests are parked in these little huts, and sometimes they're like back in between this stuff. So I still don't have any Burning Spellweave staff, so that would be nice to get. So that's why I'm looking around for that. And we're just going to pull all this trash, because remember these mobs can actually drop the set bonuses. It's unlikely, and you're probably not going to get crappy set bonuses, but it's just a possibility. Plus, it gives you a lot of XP too if you're looking to level or get some CP up. So pull them in here, this little choke, blockade, reflective light, and if the guys are hitting you in the back, like you see all these range guys, harness magic. Remember, the harness magic against magic is going to refund you some of that your cost initially. So you can see my sustain is really good with all these adds, using harness for protection, and I'm trying to line of sight. So I'm making it so they have to actually come around the corner and clump up. That way it just makes the fight a lot easier. Unstable is your #1 priority in this, in Ritual of Ret. Ritual of Ret's going to do a lot of damage. It's basically like a magic caltrops, and then Unstable with the explosion. It's just freakishly power for these AoE fights. Now we got that cleared. It's pretty much boss time. I'm looking around for a couple chests. Nothing, of course not. I do find a couple chests, even a master chest. You'll have to wait and see what I get. It's really good. Not so much. Anyways, boss round. This guy's somewhat single target. He has a couple little adds, but they just get nuked down really quick. You can use an ultimate against this guy. The next boss up top is a little bit more difficult in terms of damage, so I'll kind of show you what I do here. Also, switch back to your max magic food if you haven't already to increase your damage. So I do actually use foods a lot, just changing them in and out. And I get absolutely beat on. So harness magic, but hey, 19k health helped me out there. So otherwise I would have died. So pay attention to the boss's animation, because that's really the only threat with this guy. See right there, block, and 40%. Gonna refresh my buffs, and I'm gonna do my light attack to proc my spell damage enchant on my dual wield, and then beam him. So a couple archer buddies have came up here. It's nice. Thank you, archer guys. Oh, thank you for the bash. Come on, dude, die, archer guy. I'm going to deal with you here. Have a spear. Archer guys love spears. And beam. Yes, thank you. Now, another little chest spot here to the right and a heavy sack. See? Heavy sack. Sometimes you get 5 kudos. It's only happened one time in my entire time playing this game for 2 years. I've got one sack with kudos in it. But it was a glorious day, let me tell you. I was very excited. In fact, I ran up and down the street screaming, 5 kuda day! I don't think anyone got it in my neighborhood, but, you know, whatever. Okay, so chest. Advanced. Oh, can't wait to see what gorgeous, lovely loot we got here. And, of course, I'm really fumbling the keys. Come on. Ledger main level, so I can just click a button and open it. And what did I get? Thunder Flame helmet that I'll never use. Sick. Moving on. Boss here is going to do flame attack, AoE, charge you, and stun you. So be diligent with your stamina. That will kill you here if you run out of stam. He's going to do a stun on you right away. See? Break free. Maintain your discipline. And another blockable attack. So he's going to do that and stun you if you get away from him pretty far. So you see like right here, you just want to basically move out of the fire, but not so much where like he wants to stun you. See, block here, and then as soon as that's done, lower your block, because that will happen. So if he jumps on you and you're having to block all the time, your stamina will not be able to regen. You won't be able to make it out. In that case, just use Harness Magic. See? Block. We're fine. Maintain your discipline. You can see I constantly use that cleanse, because if he does that big huge fire attack like that, cleanse and Ritual of Ret passively healed me there. Even while I was like incapacitated, I couldn't do anything. That Ritual of Ret is really, really helpful. Come back in your rune to proc that magic regen within 8 seconds so it doesn't go down. So you don't have to sit in the rune the whole time, but you just come back to it every 8 seconds. So I missed the block, and he jumps on me, and I recover, thankfully. So what's not down? There we go. Ritual of Ret, Channel Focus, Meteor, and throw a spear right after the Meteor because it'll empower it. And then we're just maintaining our discipline. Once he reaches 40%, essentially we're going to maintain 2 dots. Around 30%, we're going to maintain 1, and then below that, we're just going to beam. So I just beam here, and look at the healing that it does. Make sure your focus is down along with your Ritual of Ret. You still want to maintain your major resistance bonuses so that doesn't kill you. Harness Magic, and then I'm going to beam. Keep going back into my rune so I get that buff. Maintain my couple dots to keep him burning if I get incapacitated, and block. Double, do a little attack there, proc my weapon enchants, and he's just about done. Whew, thankfully he's done. Moving on. Okay, we're going to near another boss fight here, but first you have to clear this trash out for it to respawn. So I like to use Shooting Star to start, since there's like 6 mobs clumped together. That with Unstable Wall will just basically just really nuke them down. Also, Ritual of Ret. Remember, it's the magic caltrops of the world. It's great. And then you see that Cleanse Now come up, so you can get off those dots if you have nasty little dots on you, but it shouldn't be too hard. So we're going to save our ultimate for this one. You can use Duster Ult if you want to get them down right away, or another Meteor if they're all parked up. So I should have put those little scampies on top of each other so it hits 6 rather than just 3. But hey, learn from my mistake. So now we have a boss here, and the only thing that's really going to kill you with this is if you stand in red circles. So basically, wheel the boss out to this open area kind of right here. But you should have enough healing, enough resistances, where the boss really shouldn't be able to kill you. So just maintain your discipline, and remember, once you go to reply Ritual of Ret, that circle down, throw that spear out. The damage is significant. Basically, anytime you go to your back bar, get in the habit of throwing that down unless you're just in Jesus Beam mode. See, constantly throwing that down, constantly applying my Ritual of Ret. And then also you want the spear to be the last thing you throw before you bar swap. That way it cancels that big long animation. So don't throw the spear then do Ritual of Ret. Do it the exact opposite way. So that way you're saving time. See? So Ritual of Ret, bar swap. So it saves you a lot of time. Time equals damage per second. So you can see my channel focus is down, Ritual is going down, applying both, spear, bar swap. And then I put both my buffs up, and then I go back to dual wield. That way I can do my beam. So beam with your dots should be enough to get them down to about that 20% range. But I'm going to go ahead and reapply it here just one more time, all my dots, and then I'm just going to straight beam them all the way down. And so you can see it doesn't really provide much pressure at all. Especially when all of our dots are up and we're beaming, we just have so much healing with our channel focus or Ritual of Ret giving us that major mending. Ember Shield Shoes, just what I wanted. I can show off how cool I am. You can see you're down a little bit magic. Use channel focus even before you go into the fight, because casting it once, even if you move out of it right away, will give you more magic than it takes to cast it. So it's optimal to do that. Ritual of Ret down, and we have a boss coming up soon. Another really easy kind of mini boss before we get to the main boss. So you can see I'm just tankier than crap with this setup. And really it's because you have a lot of max stacks with Twiceborn Star and Withered Hand. And you're not having to rely on randomness monster procs. So that's nice. But sweeps, I'm telling you guys, Templar is just so forgiving for newer players trying to learn. It's one of the best DPS. It is the best healer, and it's just easier. You have to spend a lot less effort and time learning it, and things that you can do to like make yourself really, really good is finer points in animation canceling and block canceling. It's like right there, you see I'm block canceling my attacks. Just something to learn, something to take away. Boss here does something where basically it channels and kind of goes hidden. and summons 4 adds, but once again, it's just the heavy attack mechanic is the only thing that's going to pressure you. So I dropped a meteor, boss left the area, so I walked back to put him in the meteor so that that damage over time constantly ticking. And then here's where it like kind of goes into 4 little zombie dudes, but that's going to be kind of good for a withered hand because it's going to kill at least one of them. And if your ritual or rat blockades going all at once, it'll basically just nuke them all down. And then you can see sweet sword animation lady. That's really effective. And really it's just the same sort of stuff. On your back bar, ritual of ret. And basically you're doing 2 dots, so 2 blockades, 2 reflective light, back to back, 1 ritual of ret. Then 1 reflective light, 1 unstable, channel focus. And then that's kind of what you're doing, and throwing a spear every time you're going back on your back bar. It's so much easier than other builds, making it so much easier to get the hang of it. When in doubt, puncturing sweeps, but if you're doing the rotation properly, you should only be doing maybe 2, 3 max puncturing sweeps before you go back. Now, if you're having trouble and you're just getting panicking, do puncturing sweeps because you're going to heal the crap out of yourself. But remember that puncturing sweeps is a channel. So you can't block when you're using it. So like when they do that huge heavy attack animation, if you're doing sweeps at that time, you will get nuked. So it will knock you back and it may kill you. So the thing is, like right here, you can't do puncturing sweeps during that. You can, but you're going to get stunned and you're going to be vulnerable. So Radiant Glory here, I don't even worry about healing myself. That's why I like that morph for solo. PvE, like Trials, it's going to be obviously way better to use the other morph. But when I'm solo, I can do damage and not have to worry about healing. It's just really, really good for me. Guy comes out, Ritual of Ret, Blazing Spear, Beam, later. Let's finish this. And of course I got junk out of my master chest. Lovely. I'm not going to use the little scroll just because it would take like 30 minutes to kill this guy, but it's going to take a long time anyway. So half the dungeon is killing this guy just because of his HP. So that's okay, because what you can do in this particular fight is really practice surviving. Practice your sustained. So this boss doesn't have a whole lot of mechanics that will kill you. Basically, for whatever reason, it'll put a dot on you almost constantly. It'll summon an archer and it does a huge big old bow attack that's charged. You can avoid that big bow attack, but you can see it constantly puts pressure on me with the dot and then doing its bow attack. And then it rotates, then it summons an ad. That's really the mechanics of this fight. See that big huge bow? You can dodge that with a dodge, obviously, but you don't want to get too carried away with the dodges. Really, you can heal through most of his damage just by using your ritual, having your channel focus down for your mitigation, and using puncturing sweeps. So there is an ads that come out, and then at a certain HP threshold, a bunch of ads come out. So what you're trying to do is just maintain your discipline. When you get in trouble, harness magic, because right there, see, I'm in trouble, I block, harness magic, just about dead. Calm down, just use some sweeps. I'm a Templar, I'll just sweep stuff, it's fine. And then you can see my sustain is pretty much maintaining because I'm using harness magic and some of his damage is fire. So I can like really sustain this fight. And I'm also blocking a lot just because I do have an excessive stamina with this. And then you see that ad? Those ads randomly here will actually help you out because they will give you some magic back with our Withered Hand proc, and will also give you some ultimate back for killing him. Looks like they have infinite range, so that's good. Let's beam him down, and boom, heals back up. Channel focus back down. I'm going to do my Blazing Spear, and then just kind of maintaining my discipline. And there comes that big attack. You can dodge or just outright heal through it. If you get in trouble with magic because you're lower CP or you use something else, switch to that Witch's Brew. But remember that lower HP, you will be vulnerable to that big archer attack. So it just depends on what you want to do. See right there? Sweeps and be by the guy. Be by the guy. You can see I'm getting pretty low on magic. So what I'm going to try to do is take this guy out real quick. I'm going to block, harness, dodge. And then that's going to give me a heal with Withered Hand. I'm going to use Harness and just kind of settle down into my rotation again. I'm still a little bit low on magic, and for whatever reason, I think this guy permanently has Burning Embers on me because every time I cleanse it, it just comes back. I don't know if that's a bug or working as intended, but hey, we have to deal with it. So I have no health, but one harness there, one sweeps, I'm back up. So just get in the habit of reacting. And that's another reason we put a harness on our front bar. It's just so you can react a lot easier with it. And if you're in trouble, you have an oh crap button. What I do is on every character, I have an oh crap button. And almost always it's in the exact same spot. So if I go on a Templar, oh crap, heal, vigor. If I go on a Magic Nightblade, oh crap, harness magic. If I go on a Stamsork, oh crap, dark deal. You know, every single character has an oh crap button that you use for survival, whether it's a shield, whether it's a heal, whether it's, you know, an ultimate or something. I would bind it to the same key. So when you're playing these builds and you're playing different ones or you're getting used to something, just know that, hey, okay, I'm in trouble, oh crap, click the button. And then it becomes instinctual on every single character, every single class. So you don't have to think about what do I need to do, where's my harness, so forth. If you're really struggling, put an oh crap button on both bars. Why? Well, the goal is not to die, right? So right here, look at that. No health, no health. Argonian. Oh no. Oh no, where's my Argonian passive? Harness magic. Get me through it. If you're dying all the time, you don't have to have an optimal build, but you have to learn how to survive. And if you're having trouble with bar swapping and doing all this stuff, it's better to survive first, learn to DPS like a juggernaut later. So once again, I'd rather have harness magic on both bars than inner light if I'm dying all the time. That way you have an oh crap button on both bars. So if you get in trouble, you can't do the quick bar swaps, you know what to hit. So for me on consoles, it's a lot harder to bar swap than just clicking my middle mouse here on PC. So it's something that I like to do on consoles. Okay, so we got him in execute range, and now this is where he summons a bunch of adds, I think around 20% HP. So I'm not going to use my ultimate here, and I want to use a Destra ulti once all these adds come, and then I use a meteor as I say that. Sick, Deltia. So let's try to build that ultimate back up, because you want that Destra for when all the adds come. Dodge roll the crazy archer attack, and like for some reason it seems like he does a little bit more damage around this HP. So you see, all those adds come. Would have been really handy to have a Destra ulti, Deltia, but no, had to use a meteor like a hero and show how cool you are. 4 adds. Don't panic. This is actually good for us. Why? Because, well, we get a lot of resources back and healing, killing these adds. So dot them up, usually reflective light, treat it like VMA pretty much. So beam, don't get too carried away with the beams or you'll blow through your magic. Reflective light and a beam, radiant glory should heal me up. Oh, nope, so I bar swapped and just did a harness. Now, that's the worst of it. So I have my ultimates back up. Oh, I'm almost dead. I do a harness real quick. And I don't have anyone to hit, so just do harness. Harness and cleanse. Harness and cleanse. Okay. And then now I have someone to hit. Block. Harness again. Cleanse again. Now we got them down to where we want them. And then we do our beam thing. So right here, you just want to do the beam. It's going to heal you, but make sure your ritual's down so you get major mending. And your channel focus so you get your major resistances. And then beam will just heal you up past it since we're using radiant glory. He goes moves. I'm going to throw a spear on him just so I can do some damage while moving. And then just doing that. Light attacking beam. That's it. We got no death. Soloed it. And you can see Burning Embers is still on me. Sick game. So yeah, this build can do a lot. And I really hope you guys enjoy it because I think this will last for quite a while. And you've already given me tons of feedback, so I'll try to make something similar to this to like all my other builds, but also list out like the optimal DPS for trials too, in case you want to play that. Thank you so much for watching.